Hi everyone and welcome back to the Freshly Centred YouTube channel. Today's workout is a postnatal class for those around 2 to 4 weeks postpartum or any stage later than this, and please always seek medical advice if required. Let's get started. So let's begin on your mat with your pelvis in neutral. So you want to just rock your pelvis forward and back here, feeling that natural curve under your back until you're equal. We're going to place a ball or a cushion between our knees and just apply a gentle squeeze to the ball here. We're going to lightly engage our core here. Think about drawing the hip bones towards each other. The ribs and collarbones are flat. So let's just begin by lifting through our pelvic floor. So think about closing your back passage through the middle round to your front passage. And we want to have about a 30% lift. And you should feel your lower abdominals gently drawing in too. We're going to hold that contraction while you squeeze the ball, feel everything working hard, and then gently let go. And it's really important that you let go and release the muscles. So let's switch on and let go. And repeat. If you want to recap this, you can also do my Postnatal Foundations video, which you'll find on the YouTube channel. So let's remove the ball now here. Make sure your centre is still set, your core is engaged. We're going to slide one leg away from us and bring it back to the start. This is our one leg stretch. So the aim here is to continue alternating your legs whilst keeping your pelvis absolutely still. Let's exhale on the stretch away and inhale on the return. Keeping the shoulders and neck really nice and relaxed. Exhale, stretch, and inhale, return. And try to keep that pelvic floor and core engagement working throughout. You can place your hands over your lower abdominals here just to make sure that they're still active and that there's no tilting through your pelvis. Think of creating straight lines from the body, from the hip all the way down. Let's return to our centre and just reset if you've lost your position. We're going to come into a hip twist. So we're going to open one knee out to the side and return to the start. We're going to stay on this one leg for now, really focusing on keeping the pelvis neutral and once again thinking of that small pelvic floor lift, that core engagement. And you just want to feel about 30% or so drawing inwards from those lower abdominals. Let's change to the other side. Now you only want to go as far as you can with this leg without disturbing the pelvis. So let's imagine you've got headlamps on your hip bones and they're pointing up to the ceiling. We want those headlamps to stay pointing upwards at all times. We're now going to combine this with our one leg stretch. Let's alternate the legs first just to prepare the pattern. So moving one knee out to the side for that hip twist, return to the centre. And you can turn your palms to face up to the ceiling here. This just opens the chest and shoulders. Just keep your breathing nice and relaxed. And centre in that neutral position. So ready to combine, we're going to take our hip twist and then extend the leg away, returning back to the start. Hip twist out, extend away, and bring back to the start. So as you add this further challenge, let's keep that pelvis in neutral, the headlamps facing up to the ceiling, and the pelvic floor and centre engaged. We're going to exhale as we stretch away, and inhale to return. Trying to minimise any tension through the shoulders and the neck. Okay, let's return to the start position. We're going to place our ball or a cushion between our knees once again and apply a slight squeeze. Take the arms out to the side, just below shoulder height. Squeeze the ball, and let's bring both legs over to one side and turn the head the opposite way. This hip twist mobility exercise is really nice for mobilising the spine, but it also encourages the oblique muscles to kick in as well. So applying that pressure to your ball, lift the pelvic floor, engage your core, and let them drift over to the side. Inhale to hold, and exhale to return. Keeping both shoulders firmly on the mat here to keep your position. Exhale, and we'll inhale to hold, and exhale back. Let's return to the centre once again, reset that pelvis in neutral, and just remove your pillow or head cushion if you're using one. We're going to get ready for shoulder bridge. So this is really good to get the whole body moving and some other muscles working for us. So squeezing the ball, engaging your core that small amount. We're going to start by peeling the tailbone and pelvis away from the mat, and then we're going to lift up through the whole spine. So let's begin with some pelvic tilts to mobilise. Hands rest by your sides, and then we're going to lift and back down. We're going to start small and gentle with these, just being aware there shouldn't be any discomfort in any part of your body here. So only lift as high as you feel comfortable to. And if you do have any wounds or stitches or anything like that, let's just be careful not to overstretch. If it feels comfortable to, you can gradually encourage your bridge to go that little bit higher. So using those abdominals, working up and using them to come back down again. Think of that connection between the legs, the pelvic floor and the core working for us. Try and keep the weight out of the hands and shoulders here. Let's remove the ball to one side, and you can return your head cushion or pillow underneath again. We're going to rest that pelvis in neutral and have the feet about hip distance apart and engage through your centre. We're going to float one leg to tabletop, our 90-degree position for scissors. So we're going to go straight to alternating the legs here. I want you to be as precise as you can, lifting up to that 90 degrees and back down again. Try to minimise any movement through your pelvis and your lower back here, so the movement is purely from the hip. We exhale, lift. We inhale, lower. Good, keeping that alignment between the legs, so having that hip distance all the time. Exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. Let's hover the hands off the floor just to increase the challenge now. And if you find this is too much work, just return them back to the floor. So this just makes sure you're not taking any weight through the hands and that all the weight transfer is working through that core area. Let's hug the knees in towards the chest for a small squeeze and rock side to side just to massage your lower back. Release the legs one at a time. And we're now going to come over onto our side for some side work. So getting yourself into the position here, we want the legs straight out from us so the body's nice and streamlined. You're going to lengthen this top hip away from you to create a small gap under the lower waist and soften the ribs in. Just rest your hand lightly on the mat and engage your core. We're going to do some side leg lifts. So the leg is going to lift to the ceiling and lower back down. Point the toes to lift and pull back to lower down. So here you want to be using your bottom muscles of this top hip. So think about lightly squeezing the buttocks together, keeping your core engaged so that we're still moving from the core even though we're moving on to hip and leg work. Breath out, breath in. So think of painting a line on the wall with your big toe here, up and down the same line to keep that alignment. Let's hug that knee in towards our chest just to give our buttock a small stretch. And relax. We're going to change ourselves around to face the other way, but before we go there, let's come up into sitting and just sit cross-legged, as tall as you can on your bottom bones, and loosen off the shoulders. You're going to bring the hands towards your chest here in a prayer position and relax through your shoulders. Rotate to one side, little pause, and rotate back. So our spine twist is great for our posture, it's great for our spine mobility, and it's a really nice functional exercise. So let's exhale as we twist, inhale to hold, and exhale back. As you're doing this, I want you to think about gently lifting that pelvic floor up from underneath where you're sitting and gently engaging through your core. Just getting those oblique muscles to kick in as we rotate. Keep the neck long and your nose is in line with your fingertips. Good job. Let's come into lying on this side now to repeat our side leg lifts. So stack your hips, stack your knees, stack your ankles. Lengthen the top hip away from you to create that small gap. Pelvic floor and core engages. The leg is going to lift and lower. Try to make this a smooth, continuous movement whilst keeping the rest of the body as still as you can. And once again, think about working through that top buttock, or really both buttocks are working, so gently squeezing the buttocks towards each other will help engage these muscles. Relax through your top shoulder and neck. Think about that straight line up and down the wall with your big toe. Bring that knee towards your chest, gentle pull, and just relax around that top hip. We're going to come around onto our stomachs now to do some exercises for the back of the body. So rest your forehead on the back of your arms, have your legs hip distance apart, and while we're here, we're just going to gently draw your tailbone away from you, so tuck your tailbone under to engage your core. And we're going to start with swimming, so we're going to lift the leg and lower back down. So here you want to be working those buttock muscles once again. Don't worry about getting much height here, the height isn't important, it's the buttock squeeze that initiates the movement that we're looking for. Think about lengthening the leg away from the body rather than trying to get too much height. And as you're doing this, you're keeping that core engaged underneath you. So we want to avoid feeling like your stomach is pressing into the mat. It should be drawing up away from the mat. Extend your arms out in front of you now. We're going to add in the arm work. So engaging your center, squeezing the buttocks, relaxing your shoulders. We're going to lift one arm off the floor and lower back down. So again, rather than think of a lift, think about lengthening the arm away from you. We always want to create length in the body. With every arm lift, let's think abdominals activate underneath first. Keep that pelvic floor gently working. Exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. Keeping the back of your neck long. Take the hands under the shoulders, bring yourself up onto your knees, and let's take a child's pose here. So send your hips down over your heels. Maybe widen the knees to get a little bit lower through the chest. And we're going to walk the arms round to one side. Take a really big breath out here, stretch away. Come round to the other side. Stretch away. Send your hips away from your fingertips. Let's return to the middle once more, melting the armpits towards the mat, just letting tension go anywhere in your body. from here, come up to kneeling and just loosen off the shoulders here, drawing big circles from the shoulders. Take the arms out in front, and we're just going to stretch round behind us. So slide this arm along the body, stretching round, trying to get as much movement through that top half of the body. This is really nice just to loosen off if you've been in fixed positions all day or doing lots of lifting. Loosen the shoulders and stretch the arms to the ceiling. Reach out in front, fold down, and stretch tall. Reaching as far away from your body and as far high as you can here to enjoy that stretch. And finally, we're going to lengthen down to one side, stretch this arm to the ceiling, and change sides. These are just really nice movements to put in when you've been sitting all day or holding your baby all day, just to loosen off your posture. So I hope you enjoyed your workout today. Thank you for practicing with me, and you'll find more videos on the Freshly Centred YouTube channel.